Hello chess friends and welcome to Azarov's chat channel. Welcome to my advanced chess theory and to the part 2 of the King's Indian defense. Today we'll do again this orthodox or the classical variation, but with this fighting against this simple idea of white. You will see, I'll show a game. It was played between Mekdeshvili Mikhail and Ganguly Surya Shekhar, and with the Indian with the black pieces. And let's see the game. Again, this orthodox setup. Now again we have this opposite side attack race situation. Of course, black will try to attack on the king side, and uh, white will try to attack on the queen side. So again, now bishop to f3, f4, f5, f3, f4 attacking, and after bishop to f2. Now this common attacking move by black, g5, and now b4. So this is the main idea in this setup by white. He leaves his knight on e1. So what's the idea behind this move? It's a thing that with this move of b4, c5 is prepared, and it doesn't white doesn't need an extra tempo of his knight. So we said when you're playing this opposite side attacks, every tempo counts, and white sort of gets a +1 tempo without playing this knight on d3. So that's this main strategical idea of white, to not lose a tempo and create a faster attack than black. So this for me it brought many problems, this knight to e1 concept. So I've had to analyze it hard to find some systems how to play against it, because you see uh, white has this this pawn storm on the queen side, and with this preparation of c5, it's really a fast attack. So you see, you cannot play g4 to compete with the with white with his on his fast attack. So that's a good strategic idea. But you'll see in this game how black managed to get out of this problem, and you will see how white with his knight on e1, his knight became the main problem, because you see, although white's on the attack here, he has many pieces around the king, sort of a crowded situation, and no breathing space for the king. In many King's Indian games, you will see that that the king somehow gets out when he gets too attacked, and it's a strategic idea. So he gets through these squares out of the attack of black. So that's not possible, because now the knight is stuck on e1. So that was the strategical idea, but it also can be a problem for white. So black found this idea of playing this rook to f6 early, of course with the preparation to play it on h6 and create an attack on h2, and somehow bringing the queen into the game with the queen on e8 and then to h5. So that's the idea of black here. So let's see. Of course, white played on the attack on the queen side. He didn't lose a tempo, just playing straightforward. It's still fine for him. So now comes this rook to h6, and now rook to c1. Rook to c1 is also good, but you see, after queen to e8, white should have taken on or on d6, or maybe play c6. So it's still not an open c file. So he played knight to b5, and he's sort of losing his point here. He tried to take on c7, and then maybe eventually the rook. But you see, white's main idea was to don't to not to lose tempos, and he will lose tempos here just playing on the simple pawn. So he should have continued his attack on the queen side with the pawns and not with the pieces. So here black plays the simple threat of mate on h2, and you see it's already black on the advance here. So no, of course you cannot take the c7, you would get mate. So here white tries this blocking system. Of course black doesn't want to take with the pawn, so he would have his own piece in front of the pieces that are attacking the h file. So that was the idea of white. So just black, of course, is not interested in playing knight to f6, and now white took on c7. So black's on the advance here. No threats are so hard you can even leave the rook hanging there. So if white takes the rook, it's still for him losing a tempo, because black has a more dangerous attack on the king. So now came knight to g6. Of course, the idea taking on h4, and then if bishop takes, then the queen takes, and would still and the h file would still be open. So now came again a try of blocking somehow the king side, but of course then came en passant, taking with the bishop, and now taking with on h4. Of course white has to react, and he played bishop to h2. But now you see the g file is open. Now the queen can come with this check, and after king to f2, you see now this knight on e1 is blocking the king, so the king cannot get out of here. So his main strategical idea became his main problem. So now knight to f4 comes, of course, a very good and active square. Doesn't allow white to play knight to d3 because of the check on the king. So this knight is protecting this g2 square, and of course now rook to g1 is not possible because of rook knight on h3 attacking the king and the rook. So, and if white takes the knight on f4, he would have many problems on the dark squares here. So of course he's not interested in to get rid of his bishop because he is his main protector of dark squares. So now came bishop to c4. White tries somehow get out with the king, but it's already too late. And I said it before, you have to watch my introduction video with these common sacrifices. And when you're on the attack here, you have to find your tactical shot. I said it in my introduction and in my first video. When you want to be a good King's Indian player, we have to find tactical shots. But they're always so common, these tactical shots. You said on d5, or maybe on e4. So that's what. But you have, of course, you have to calculate it. And now black finds this tactical shot, of course, with the attack on the king. Knight took on e4. So white has to react. He took with his f3 pawn, but you see now the f file is open. So really dangerous stuff for white. And now comes check with the knight, and check on the king, and of course discovery on the queen. And now comes this knight to f3, at least sort of a protection. But now this rook that black activates his last piece into the attack. Very good play. And now White desperately trying to cover himself. So now the other rook comes into the attack. Very active, very good play by Black. Although the pieces are equal, but it's of course although White's piece up. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. uh, of course, the advance is on Black side. So now uh, White tries to get away with his king, and now came Rook, take on f3, Rook take on f3, Bishop take on f3, Rook takes on f3, and after Rook takes on f3, here and this check on the and attacking the Bishop on c4. So after the only square White has this e2, now comes taking on c4, knight to d1, and now after a couple of checks let's see the continuation, and here White resigned because of if White takes, then Black has this check. Now after that, just trading queens and taking the knight, and it's a simple win for Black. So the other game that I wanted to show you with this concept of leaving the knight on e1, it was played between Jérôme Piquet and one of the best players in the world of all time, Garry Kasparov, with the black pieces. And Garry Kasparov is a really King's Indian master. And the thing is that when I was analyzing this game, one funny thing came. I realized one funny thing, that in this game Garry Kasparov had 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, and 0 blunders. So it was sort of a perfectional game by him. Like he played here like a machine. And let's see again after f5, f3, f4. Now after g5, White tries this idea of playing b4 without playing knight on d3. Garry Kasparov just improving the position of his pieces, and after taking on d6, rook to c1, and now Garry Kasparov played rook to f7. You saw in my first video of the series and in my introduction that this motif on rook on f7 is very important to get protection of this this c7 square. And now you may think that White can play here knight on b5, attacking this knight on this pawn on a7, and if something like a6 comes, then he can attack the bishop, but that's not possible. You can even leave this a7 pawn hanging and just play g4, and if White takes, then you have this g3 in between move. So if White takes, of course taking is not possible because of this bishop is protecting this knight on a7, and after bishop to e3 you have this tactical shot liberating the queen with the threat of playing queen to h4. Now if he takes, White would have give up his queen, and after bishop to e6 it's a completely winning game for Black. So this is the main thing. After this knight to b5, you have to remember you have to play you have to play g4, not a6 or something. So that's not possible. So that's not what happened. White played a4. So I just want to realize that this threat of knight on b5 is not so dangerous. So Garry Kasparov played this now really protective move, and it's an important move also. It's a common move for the King's Indian. It sort of fixes the protection of this d6, and the other thing is that White cannot, if he doubles his rooks or something, he cannot have a check on the king. So it would be a tempo for White when he could have bring his rook with a check into on the eighth rank. So I said it before, zero inaccuracies, zero mistakes, and zero blunders by Garry Kasparov in this game. So it was sort of a perfection. And this bishop to f8, you have to memorize it. It's also a really important concept of the King's Indian. So this rook to f7, and then the bishop to f8. It's really important for you to memorize. So now you see White tries somehow the attack on the queen side. He plays in this opposite side principal attack. So now Garry Kasparov played bishop to d7, and now this bishop to d7 is a move that at least somehow he will try to challenge the c file, at least get the exchange of the rooks. So this would be a liberating exchange. But now comes this again, this knight to b5. Of course you are not interested to taking this knight because your bishop has to be on the attack on the king side. So it's the most active piece for black. So of course you're not interested to trade. So now Garry Kasparov plays very well. You see with this move to b5, White left the control of the e4. So if White takes, then Black can take this very good pawn on e4. So that's now okay, knight to c7, and again. Do you think that Garry Kasparov cared for his rook? Of course not. He played very of course in his style, in his own style, that he's really a King's Indian, I don't know, wizard. And with this move g3, very good by Garry Kasparov. And here it was sort of a blunder by White. He took the rook on a8. So now you see the coordination of the pieces with ideas of rook to g7. The bishop is aiming, the queen is aiming on the king side, and White lost this tempo on taking the rook, because the rook would have not come into the game anyway. So now what's the idea here? He tries to somehow get the king away from dark squares, and now after taking, he took with the rook, and now again a grandmaster move by Garry Kasparov, knight to g3. So of course you cannot take, then he will take with the pawn, and then after getting away with the rook, it would be mate in two. So White would have give up his rook, and of course he's not interested in that. So that's why he played king to g1. Now Garry Kasparov took the knight, and you see he has two pieces for the rook, and he's really on the advance here. So let's see if now white takes the knight, then this would be the continuation. Now comes again this knight on this active square on f4. Now after trying to trading, now again the queen through the dark square try to mate after exchange of knights. Again this blocking system with this rook on f4, so white would have to try somehow get the breathing space for the king, but you see it would be a losing game. So after here of course rook to c2 is not possible because of mating one. So that's not what happened. He didn't take, and Garry Kasparov he played bishop to c4, try somehow get this diagonal open, but now Garry Kasparov finds again a really good move, a6, and after queen to d3, sort of a pin on the rook, and now after b5, taking, and now knight to h1, and here white resigned because after taking, take the rook, and black would have continued with one piece up. So you see, again this knight stayed on e1, but I said before it's a good concept also, although you have to be careful with this knight on e1 left, because if you don't play correctly, then white has a really fast attack on your queen side. So I showed you these two principles, how to approach on this early attack of white. So I hope you enjoyed this, and more videos of the King's India are to come, with something like the samish, how to play against the samish attack, and more lines that maybe trouble you. Thanks for watching, and chess is the best.